I swear one of my eyes is slowly going a bit bung-eyed. 10 out of 10 to Camus or some shit. A B plus Camus. This year, because I've been sort of switching off from the news and a lot of darkness, and avoiding just the relentless, depressive crap of politics and news as much as I can. I reckon I've at least halved it from how much I normally take in. I started watching RuPaul's Drag Race, which I've talked about before, and it was actually weirdly really fun. A friend suggested it to me 10 years ago, thinking, oh yeah, it's a bunch of creatives in a competition to be creative, and that's kind of what I have to do, well, what I'm doing every day, but with myself. It's a competition with myself to come up with ideas and interesting ways to see and view the world, and I sort of avoided it. I thought, I'm not interested in in RuPaul's Drag Race, but I watched it this year, 10 years later, thinking, I'm tired of the darkness of the world, let's watch it. So I ended up watching 10 seasons, and I always found myself sitting on the couch with a kind of a plastered smile on my face while I was watching it, kind of like this. I felt like one of those clowns at an amusement park with their mouths open you put balls into, and it was really good, and it was fun to watch. But I started rewatching The Sopranos for the third time just in the last few weeks, and I'm surprised how much juice it still has. A lot of the time when there's something that's beautiful art, you watch it enough or you read it enough and it kind of runs out of its magic. And it's just the way it is. And so I'm surprised that The Sopranos holds up. On the third watch, I'm a season in. That also links back to RuPaul stuff. I began watching season 11 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and I got halfway through it, and I actually couldn't watch one episode after starting on The Sopranos again. It made me feel like that was eating stale chips and Sopranos was eating a beautiful roast. That's how it felt. And it's like Sopranos has kind of murdered RuPaul's Drag Race for me. Even though I got a lot of fun and kind of goodness out of it, RuPaul's Drag Race feels like it has all the emotional nutrient of chewing gum now. And one day I'll go back to it. I'll revisit it. I'll probably end up watching seasons 10 to 20. But it was also kind of an interesting way of how a lot of people live, and they love that stuff. And I loved it. I loved 10 episodes of reality TV, and I surprised myself and it was like an anesthetic. It kept me kind of even keeled. There were some dramatic moments, some emotional moments in it too. Like it's pretty good. There's a reason why it's popular. Popular doesn't mean something's crap. Like Nirvana or Sopranos are popular as well. It's like, oh my god, I've just watched the first season of Sopranos, and it just makes everything a bit shit after watching a season of it, and I'm heading into the rest of the show. I remember living in Dramana on a cliff top on in a cabin on stilts back in 2009 to 2010, and when I had to move back to the city, it just made me feel like, oh my god, it destroyed my sense of, it was so good living there. It was so amazing. Like I could feel everything, all my guards and defenses drop away living there, and I could tap into magic in the country. But back in the city, I swore to myself I'd never live in the inner city again, and I've been here for years. I've been here for years since. So yeah, it's funny like how the good art or good locations or good places can really can almost push you into a slight, not bitterness, because I've somehow managed to write some of my best stuff in a city, and I'm just glad that The Sopranos still The Sopranos still holds its juice. I wrote something once, sometimes that one book, one piece of art or music comes along and makes everything else seem like it's pretending, and it's a relief. And that's what I love about The Sopranos. I love that about any good art. I love it when it makes all the other art seem like it's pretending. And part of me has been, for the last bunch of years, trying to say, just write really brutally true things. Try to write just true stuff over and over again. I always feel like writing one true thing a day, and it feels like it buys me oxygen for at least 24 hours. And I can stay sane, and I orientate myself against the avalanche of bullcrap in the world until it runs out. So I'm always in this process of constantly saving myself from nothing. And sometimes it makes me think, why bother writing one true thing a day? Like, maybe I should just start writing one good lie a day, and surf the avalanche of lies and make me feel almost sane. Like, yeah, it's starting to feel like writing a true thing a day is, it's just, what's the point? It's fighting a stupid uphill battle with myself. Why not just write beautiful delusions? I guess the key word there is beautiful. And maybe that's the thing, is I don't know if there's truth in beauty or lies in beauty, or beauty just steps outside both lies and truth, and it just is. I sort of thought more recently that I'm kind of tired of stories, because in a story there's always an obstacle, and that's how the character develops and evolves, and you see how they overcome the obstacle. And I was kind of tired of reading stories, because I feel like life's this constant obstacle and trying to overcome something. And I remember when I was a kid, I really liked just looking at pictures. When there was fewer obstacles in my life. There's still obstacles for sure, but not as many as an adult. And I love how stories can be roadmaps out of predicaments and all that sort of stuff. I love how poetry kind of saved me in my 30s and early 40s. I love how stories can do that, but I kind of got sick of them. I started almost reading them because even when everything was okay, almost looking for an obstacle in my life. And I remember meditating for I hate the whole wellness bullshit industry and stuff, and how blah blah blah. I remember feeling really happy for the first time in my life about 5 years ago, when I would sit and watch a blade of grass for about 40 minutes and just intently stare at something like a tree or a shed, a wall, the little bits of stuff stuck on a wall, and it made me feel really good. I felt like this peace, and it was kind of hard work to begin with, but then it became easy, and I felt so relaxed in the world. And I felt I found I couldn't write. All I could write in those few months was "I like life." I couldn't write, and so I almost feel like I went back to struggling in some ways, because life's going to throw struggles at you anyway. But I always felt like I was actively looking just to be disgruntled and bitter and cynical at life, just so I could write something. But I remember those stories. Oh, sorry, as a kid, I remember just looking at pictures, a beautiful scene, just like maybe it was raining at night outside, and in the distance there's a shop with lights on a country road, and a bit of thunder and moonlight, and that's all I needed. I didn't need a story. I just needed a scene, and I kind of missed that. I missed it for a long time, and this year I kind of went back to going, art, just pictures hold value. They're kind of a doorway to the dream world and out of the bullshit of this waking life. I rediscovered that this year, and I felt sort of semi-sane again. And so, yeah, they're going on this weird thing recently of writing. I'm writing quirky love poems and just trying to willfully focus on beautiful things to feel sane rather than my cynicism and stuff. I don't know where I went with this, but RuPaul's Drag Race and The Sopranos, they both have their value in the world, and they're both an anesthetic. But yeah, I love the the truth and the warmth of The Sopranos. There's so much warmth, and I feel like my heart is alive. And even just reflecting on it for 5-10 minutes after The Sopranos, when an episode finishes, watching one a night, I feel like I just need to sit and just sit with it, sit with the energy of the episode for 5 to 10 minutes, and yeah, just let it go through me, and it feels so nice. If you'd like to leave a review of this on Spotify or Apple, or a comment on YouTube or wherever you're listening to this, I'd love it. See ya.